everyone. All right, let me get this set up to live chat here. And hopefully you can hear me and see me. Make sure everything is good. All right, if you can hear me and see me, let me know in the chat, please. Please, please, please. Let's see here. Make sure it's working. Looks like it's working. Awesome. Thanks, babe. Oh my gosh. I chugged a bunch of coffee before this and now I'm just shaking. But at least I don't have the migraine I had, so that's good. Okay, cool. I'm glad it's working. Hey, bro, how's it going? Backwoods was like, I told him that I had guests today and he's trying to make me tell him who it was. And I told him he had to wait with everybody else. What are you up to, Backwoods? I know what James is doing. He's outside planting onions and potatoes in our garden. Hi, Marianne. I'm doing good. How about yourself? It's actually really hot here in Texas. It's like 80-something degrees, so it's been really nice out. We've been outside a lot. Hi, Lori. How are you? It's way better than the ice last time. Waiting to see who the guest is. It's not me. Backwoods, I need to have you on here before too long. I will. I promise. I told James the other day I needed to talk to you about that. Oh my gosh. I am excited. We're going to Paladero Canyon here in a couple days, and it's going to be really awesome. Okay, checking on something. We're good. Marianne, it is nice. It's been probably 80, 85 today, so it's been really nice. The sun's been shining. It's been really windy, so even though it's pretty warm, it hasn't been too hot. And then it's really nice not to have the ice that we had. James, yes, you know what I'm checking on. Oh my gosh. How's the weather where you are, Marianne? Oh my goodness. So I want to show y'all something. I never keep anything for myself that I make. I always give it away or sell it. But I kept one of my stickers and I put it on my water bottle. And I need to add more. But right now, this one's my favorite. So this is the one I have on here. And it's been on hikes with us. It's going to Paladero Canyon with us. It's been washed a bunch of times. It's set out in the sun. And it's holding up really, really well. So special shout out to Backwoods Mindset for telling me where he got his stickers, because I got my stickers from the same place. Let me show y'all a little bit better. So I actually drew these myself and then had the watercolor and ink drawing made into stickers. Put gosh darn Backwoods sticker on there. Maddie, I had all my stickers in one spot and I don't know where I put them, and I need to find them because I think when I got your stickers, we hadn't moved yet, and so a lot of stuff has been packed away. Lori, Rachel, have you ever been to Paladero? I have not. My husband has. I have not been. We're going with my parents and my younger brother, and then my dad is actually a twin, and so my uncle is going to go, and my cousin and my aunt and her two kids, my other cousins, they got married about 7 years ago. No, I lied. It's probably been like 10 years ago. So I haven't gotten to see them a lot of times, but they're really sweet. So I'm excited to see them and get closer with them. So that should be really fun. Marianne, yeah, that's not too bad. It's better than the freezing cold. Backwoods, thank you. I would love some new stickers. I have some from Piggy's Piddles and Aline, Welcome to My Kitchen. And I think I have a Come On Homesteading. And I have yours somewhere. There's, I think, another one. And I don't know, they're all in one spot, and I don't know where they got put. Let's see here. It looks like my internet's holding out, so that's really good. But yeah, let me show y'all the other stickers. I don't know who saw them last time. I haven't gone live in, I don't know, I think this has been 3 weeks since I've gone live. I meant to go last week, and I realized on Wednesday that Tuesday had passed, so that wasn't going to work. Okay, so y'all saw the Coreopsis. Then I have the sea turtle. which this one's been one of my most popular ones. My dragonfly, a sunflower, a carnation rose kind of thing. I guess it's more of a peony. And the betta fish. My hands are shaking from the coffee. Marianne, thank you. I'm really excited to go. Lori, how many times have you been there? I don't know what is all still open down there, but we used to go a lot. That's really cool. I've been past it. Like, we probably were maybe 10 miles from it when we went to Colorado a couple years ago. We drove right through there, but we were on a time crunch to go see my cousins in Colorado. So we ended up not actually stopping, but I wanted to go. So this time should be really fun. My uncle and my cousin went for his birthday, I think last fall or summer, and one night they stayed in the cabins down in the basin of the canyon. And then the next 2 nights they stayed up on a cabin on the rim of the canyon. So my uncle got 2 cabins on the rim, and my dad got a cabin at the bottom. So there's only 3 on the rim, and they're renovating one. So it should be a lot of fun. The cabin that I'm in with James and my younger brother, there's no running water, anything like that, which, we've been used to living out here. So that won't be a big deal. There's a public campground bathroom not very far. And then my uncle's cabins have like showers and all of that. And then my mom and I are actually taking our dogs. So my mom has a golden retriever puppy. Her name's Daisy, and I guess is she 10 months old? Yeah, she's 10 and a half months old. And mom's going to take her, and then June is 10 months old, and we're going to take her. But you can't have dogs in the cabins. So my mom's actually getting a hotel room and keeping the puppies at the hotel room for us. So, and I might stay in the hotel with her because honestly, running water sounds pretty nice, like a nice bath and all that. So it should be pretty fun. Lori, it's beautiful. Let's see, we lived in Canyon. Oh, Lori, I didn't realize that. That's really cool. How long did you live in Canyon? I'm trying to think if we drove through Canyon when we went to Colorado. I don't think we did, but maybe we did. I don't remember. James knows all the roads in Texas, and he was just driving, so I didn't really pay attention. I should have. Hi, 12 Stones. Okay, I'm here. You can start the live. Well, you're only 8 minutes late, so. Clickbait, you don't have guests. Backwoods, come on. You know better than that. You got to build the suspense for a little bit in the video. I do have guests. I promise. I have guests. Lori, there was horse riding. That's cool. I have to check that out. I don't know if they offer that, but I know that you can take your horse out there. But I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. I know that the dog can't go in any cabins, any buildings. You can't even have your dog in a crate in your car while you're in the cabin. You have to, if it's in your car, you have to be with the dog. It can't be left outside by itself. Has to be on a 6-foot or shorter leash. And there's something else. You have to have rabies vaccination with you, which not a big deal. I don't keep it on her collar in case it falls off. And then there's something else. You can't cook inside the cabins. And I think that's it. But they have really strict rules, which I get because a lot of people just take their dogs out and their dogs aren't well trained. So I'm excited to take June because we need to work more on a leash. She does pretty good in general, but she follows me. She stays by my side and James's side everywhere we go around the property. And she used to be good on a leash, but it's been a bit since she's been on a leash. Lori lived in and around that part of Texas for several years. That's awesome. It's really beautiful out there. It's very, very different, but it's really beautiful. And I can't tell you how far it was. And I want to say, was it, James can correct me on this. I want to say it was Texline, but I could be wrong. We camped out in the grasslands out there, and that was really, really fun. Hi, Ricky. How cold is it in Minnesota? I want to see who the guests are, but you think it's clickbait. No, it's not clickbait. I'll show y'all in just a second. backwoods. Those are some commie rules. Yes. I thought it was really dumb because the cabins are stone cabins, and they were built in the 1930s by the oh, I used to have the name of it and I can't think, but the groups Roosevelt put together young men, the CCC, where they would go and they would put young men to work during the Great Depression. They actually, some of those young men, I think it was the CCC, they built those cabins. So they're really old. I can tear them up, and then like they don't even have sheets or anything. You have to take your own bedding and all that. So I don't know why it'd be a problem, but we're going to follow the rules, obviously. So Mom will keep the puppies in a hotel room in Canyon, and then we're going to be in the actual canyon. So it should be really fun. It's supposed to be like 60 to 70 degrees, so perfect weather to hike without freezing or being too hot. Hi, Peaceful Des. How are you? Take some cardboard to slide down some of the hills. That sounds fun. That sounds really fun. 12 Stones. I didn't live there or around there for any number of years. 12 Stones, where are you from originally? I know you're not from Texas originally, but I don't remember where you're from. 10 degrees and a foot of snow coming, says Ricky. That's crazy. You can have some of our weather if you want. It's been like 80 degrees here. Hi, Melinda. Hey, y'all. I didn't know about the live. I'm late. I was outside enjoying the great weather finally. Yes, it has been gorgeous weather. James has been outside, and I was going to help him plant. I think he's doing onions right now. And I looked at my phone, and I had planned to go live, but then I had a migraine today, so I was like, well, I don't know. And then I was feeling better, and I was like, okay, I'll go live. And I looked down, it's 5:20. I'm like, crap, I can't help you garden. I got to go get ready for the live. Ricky's giving me a hard time about the special guests. Trying to get better. Des, have you been sick? I'm so behind on YouTube. I hope you get better. I'm praying you do. Bro, you're 11 minutes in. Who you got? I'll tell you what. I'll make you wait 3 more minutes, and then I'll show you. I promise it's worth the wait. Hi, Heather. I don't know how you say that, babe. James says the towns nearby, Panhandle folks need to tell us how to say it. There you go. He doesn't know how to say it either. But yeah, we camped in the Panhandle in the grasslands right on the edge of New Mexico, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. 12 Stones, most of my life has been in Texas. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew you've been around for a while since you went to Grayson like I did, which is crazy. We're almost at Grayson College at the same time. We're going to be mind blown. You will be mind blown. I promise. Let's see. I have some kind of infection which gets to my legs, fever and chills, but I have strong antibiotics. Peaceful Des, that's terrible. I hope you feel better. Ricky says it's probably a bass boat. I don't have a boat. I've never had a boat. James says, yes, we camped at Texline. I thought it was Texline. Well, out in the middle of nowhere. We saw some wild pheasant, which was really cool. Wild pheasant. So that was really fun. Lori, we camped there some. It was lots of fun, lots of interesting stuff to see there. Yeah, it's a cool area. Ricky, I sold my boat, says Backwoods. I was sick 3 weeks, thought I was going to die much better. Melinda, I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's terrible. Ricky, he did not sell his boat to me. I don't know who he sold it to. Got a Ferrari or a G-Wagon. Dude, I have a 2006 Honda CR-V that is beat to hell and back with all the stuff that we do with it. We've gone to the beach. We've hauled lumber in it. I've hauled soap stuff. That car is a beast, though. Thank you. I will be fine in a few days. I go through this many times a year if I get around anyone sick with cold or other illness. Peaceful Des, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. Okay. It's a minute early, but I'm going to show y'all my guests. 1 second. Look at those sweet faces. Was it worth the wait? Look how cute they are. Aren't they so sweet? They are 2 weeks old today. Those aren't people, that's dinner. Not these ones. I'm actually selling these ones. I've gotten all of them sold. 12 Stones they are. When you said, where are those bunnies? I was like, I can't answer that question because I'm about to show you. It's a handful of fluffiness. Yeah, I don't know how many I can pick up at the same time, but I'll show you one at a time. I think James already named one of them. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Okay, so they have, I don't know if you've seen the posts or not. I haven't made very many, but I have 2 silver ones. Look how cute they are. This one right here, this is the one James really likes, and it has like its fur is a little, you can't really tell on video, but its fur is a little bit longer and kind of fluffier, and it's smaller. This one right here, this one's really heavy. He's several ounces heavier than this one. So I think probably this one, since it's so big, is a male. But this one's James's favorite, and he named it Hopper. So we'll probably be keeping this one. I'm going to keep a couple of them. Byron, yes, he's allowed to keep whichever one he wants. So I think we're going to keep this one for sure. And then I'm going to keep a black one, depending on, I don't know if this is a male or a female. They're too little to tell. And then I will keep one of the opposite sex for the black one based on this one, because I want to keep a doe and a buck, at least one doe and buck back. But this one's really cuddly, and they're very, very sweet. And look at their little ears. Aren't they cute? Let's see. Mail me one. Backwoods, they wouldn't survive the mail, but if you come down here, I'll set you up with some. Backwoods, Ricky asks, are you supposed to name your food? Marianne, aren't they cute? They're very, very sweet. Let me see. This one kind of nibbles on you. I don't know if I can get it to open its mouth. Let's see. I don't think it's going to cooperate, but it's got two little teeth. You see those little teeth? They're so little. This one was actually nibbling on James, and then it was nibbling on some pine cones, and what else was it nibbling on? Some pellets. It didn't eat the rabbit pellets, but it was trying to. But they just sleep in your hand or pee on you. I've had them pee on me 3 different times. Ridge Life names his food. I'm not surprised, Backwoods. Let me see. Let me show you all the other ones. So this one's, we're definitely going to keep this one. This one's really sweet, and you might be able to tell there. It's just got really fluffy hair. It's just kind of, it looks more, I don't know how to describe it. Kind of more like the Velveteen Rabbit, where his fur looks a little crazy, but they're very, very sweet. Let me show you the black ones. One of them is very jumpy, and they just opened their eyes a couple days ago. I don't know how well the black one's going to show up, but they just sleep in your hand, and they're very, very sweet. Although I learned not to hold them too close to me, because I had my hair like this, and I was holding it like this for a photo, and it peed in my hand and my hair as I was taking the photo. So like the photo has pee dripping from my hand, which it was funny, but luckily I hadn't washed my hair that morning yet, so I didn't waste a hair wash. But let's see. Steak 1, 2. I still want to have, like, I've never tried rabbit, so I want to, but these I'm going to keep 2 of them. I have somebody that wants to buy a black one and a silver one, and then I will have, I think, let me make sure I did my math right. I think I'll have 2 more that I'm either going to sell or raise out. I'm not sure yet. But these are silver fox rabbits, so they're kind of a rare breed. They're not endangered because it's a domesticated animal, but they're on like more of like a endangered breed kind of list. Not where you can't eat them and stuff, but just, I don't know what it's called exactly, but they're really hard to find. So I got the mom and the dad of these ones from Sawyer Ridge Farm. And I might keep, depending on how her animals are doing, I might keep a buck back for Alex, because we're trying to make sure that both of our rabbit populations are good and have good genetics. So I might keep a buck back for her. But they're hard to find. Laura, aren't they so sweet? I'll show you the silver ones too. 12 stones looks like a shadow of a rabbit. Yeah, that's a good name, Shadow. So the mom is also black, and her name is Jackie. And then the dad, oh, it nibbled on my hand. I don't know if y'all saw that. Kind of startled me. You tasting me? The dad's a brown one, and he looks like a Palmer Easter bunny, so I named him Palmer. Marianne, I'm going to have to look at coming to Texas to meet you and look at all of your products, Marianne. I appreciate that. I can ship to you too. It's licking my finger. Sorry, I don't want to throw it, but it startles me when it chews on my hand. Let's see. It's not really oh, it's kind of biting me. I don't know if you can see that. I guess this one's hungry. Let's see. Marianne, I don't remember what I said, but I can ship to you. So if you want to go to my website, it's brazosvalleysoaps.com. And I try to send out samples with every order. So, if you get some floral ones, I'll add in a different floral one that you can try to see if you like them. But I guess it's trying to nurse on my finger. Going blind with all this pure awesomeness. I know, I've had this shirt forever. It says, warning, you may go blind from my pure awesomeness. It actually has a bromine stain on it from organic chemistry, so part of it's purple. Let's see. Good night, Ricky. Have a good one. Thanks for jumping on. Laura says she had a black rabbit when she was a little girl, named her Cuddles. That's so sweet. But this one, they're really sweet. So I have 4 black ones. And as they get older, the silver foxes, they'll have like little, they look like a fox skin. They'll have little gray hairs dotted throughout their pelt. And this one keeps chewing on me. Y'all see that? Let me get a different one out. Bromine. Yeah. 12 stones, it was a fun lab. But the thing about organic chemistry, they tell you have to sign a waiver before the chemistry classes because they'll say, oh, yeah, we know that this is a known carcinogen. And so you're like, well, this is going to give me cancer in a later life. But it was a fun lab. I don't remember what we were doing with bromine, but they're like, oh, wear old clothes. So I've had this since I was like 14. And so I wore it, and then I spilled bromine on it. It might have come out now because it's been like 8 years since I got the stain. But Marianne, I thought you'd bought some stuff, but I've had a migraine, so my brain's a little gone. But here's another black one. This one, I think this one's the biggest one of the litter. Very hefty, very sweet. But look how little, let me get a good hold. Look how little their little feet are. Okay. See how tiny? They're so little. Little back feet. I mean, the size of your finger. But their nails are surprisingly sharp, even though they're tiny. It is. I don't know if I can say that word on here without getting banned, but it's been well fed. I will tell you that much. Let me show you all the silver one again. I think Laura wanted to see the silver one. So this one is also the biggest one of the litter. Wait, no, hold on. Yeah, this one's a little jumpier. I don't know. I need to weigh them, but they're so jumpy. I'm going to have to weigh a little basket and then put them in to see. But they're very, very sweet. And the mama's done really well. She hasn't tried to bite me when I go and mess with the babies. So I've been really grateful she hasn't tried to bite me. She does. The first couple days, she would jump in the nest box and she goes and grouch at me and guard the babies, but she doesn't do that anymore. And she never tried to bite me. 12 stones. Yep, those waivers are the best. Yeah, I feel like you should get compensated. You have to take that class, but it may give you cancer. It's kind of dumb. Let's see. Heather says 12 stones. It was great seeing you in the chat. Good to hear from you. Tubby Bunny, yes, 12 stones. This, I don't know. I have them in the floor in a basket. I can't tell because they're in the shadow, but the other black one and this silver one, they're definitely the biggest. And I think they're probably male, just since they're so big. But let's see how much this little guy weighs. Pleasingly plump. Melinda, that's right. Or well insulated. Yep. Let me see. I got to figure out something I can set him in because he's going to jump. But let's see. So hold still. 7.3 ounces. 7.3 ounces, and I swear 5 ounces of that is just for her. But they're pretty big. So let's see how much Hopper weighs. They're all sleeping in a little pile. All right. Let's see. This one's a little one. 6 ounces. So there's an ounce, 1.3 ounces in difference between this silver one and the other silver one. That's a lot more than I thought. I mean, you can definitely feel it picking them up, but that's pretty big. They're very cute, though. 12 stones. I bet Buck has a secret fear of bunnies. I don't know how you'd be afraid of it. I mean, the grown ones, their teeth are really big, so I'd be a little scary to be munched on by one. Oh, it's shivering. The AC's blowing on it, I guess. I'll put you back. They're sleeping in a pile in the basket in the floor. But they're very sweet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can weigh all of them just for... Scoot my chair back. Just for science and stuff. Okay, so... There's this one. I think this one's the big one. This one weighs 7.2. Okay, so there's 2 black ones about the same size. Let's see. This one I think is the big one. Yeah, 7.2. Okay, I guess they weigh the same. And then that one's really asleep. Oh, he was. 7.2. Maybe they all weigh the same. There's definitely a couple of little ones, but Mama might just have fed them too because they're a little fat. Let's see. That one is 7. Well, they're moving around. Hold still. 6.9. So I guess the smallest one is Hopper, and that one's 6 ounces. So I guess that one's the runt, which might be why it's our favorite because it's little. Let's see. Bipolar weather is nuts. 12 stones. I know. It's terrible. It was iced over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and now it's 80 degrees. And every time the weather changes, I get a migraine. And thank you, Heather. I'm sorry I missed your comment. I am feeling better. I had a migraine, and I bought some iced coffee concentrate from the store, and I've had it for a couple days. And I thought, well, usually iced coffee makes my migraines at least dulled down where I can function. So I had some of that around lunchtime, and it didn't do anything. So about 4:30, James took me into town, and I got a McDonald's iced coffee with an extra shot of espresso. And I don't know why, but it really helps my migraines. So I chugged that. Well, the problem was I drank it so fast that now my hands are shaky, but my head feels better. Let's see. I worked at the Air Force Base, and the supervisor was scared of a little cottontail outside the room to clock in. I had to go do it for her. Melinda, that's funny. You know, I didn't know how crazy wild rabbits were, and my grandparents had some cottontails that made a nest in their bushes in their back, flower bed area. It wasn't really a garden, just a flower bed. And my grandfather's like, grab it. And I'm like, well, won't it bite or kick you? And he goes, no. And I picked it up, and it was a little bit bigger than these baby bunnies. And it was really cute. And it didn't try to run away or anything. And I think they had 3 of them. And the mama, they'll come. Sometimes the moms will kind of run at you if you have a baby in your hand, but she didn't bother me. And then these ones are really cute and really sweet. Though there's a certain point where when you're picking them up and you don't have them close to you, they kind of panic. And they can kick, and their claws are sharp, but they're not bad. It was 87 for the high. Really, 12 stones? That doesn't surprise me, but that's still, almost in the 90s. It's only February. Heather says, same here. I get headache from the weather last week and week before. I understand. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you're a coffee person. I'm not a big coffee person, but if you have McDonald's by you and you can try the iced coffees, I don't know what it is, but it helps with the sinus pain and the pressure from a sinus migraine. You might try that. Heather says we're going to get snow tonight. That's crazy. Haven't seen snow for a long time. Marianne, I haven't either. I'm trying to think. Well, I lied. dusted snow for like 20 minutes here last year, I think in January or February. But it wasn't real snow. It wasn't white everywhere. It was just a little bit for, like I said, 10, 20 minutes. We're supposed to be getting another cold front too. Really? Ugh, I wish I'd just pick a temperature and stick with it. Laura says, migraines are terrible. I get them when the weather changes. We have freezing rain coming tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel for you, and I hope that the freezing rain doesn't give you migraines. I don't know what it is, but whenever it drops, it has to drop substantially for me to get a really bad migraine, but when it drops like 30 degrees in, a couple hours, that always kills me. Heather, I do like coffee sometimes. I have to try it. Yes, and then if it's really bad, I get an extra shot of espresso. And I mean, it's got a lot of sugar and stuff in it, so it's not healthy for you, but I would rather drink coffee and feel better than take ibuprofen or anything like that if I don't have to. I don't like to take pain meds. So I'd much rather drink sugar than take pain meds. And I found it works better than Excedrin. Excedrin has the pain meds and the caffeine in them. And I used to take Excedrin for years, but the coffee works better for sinus migraines because I've really worked on my migraine triggers, so I don't just get migraines from anything anymore. But the weather ones, you can't control the weather. So most of the time, the pain meds also don't help with my sinus migraines, but I found that helps. Melinda, temp supposed to drop drastically here. Watch out, Texas. Here it comes again. Ugh, Melinda, when is it supposed to change? I hope it doesn't get too cold while we're at Paladero because I don't want to be like snowed out there or anything. Also, there's just a window heater for the stone cabin. It's not insulated, so if it's really cold, we're going to be cold inside. 12 stones. Maybe it's a change in barometric pressure. I guess that have to be what it is. I also get really bad altitude sickness. We went up to Colorado 3.5 years ago to see my cousins. They're in Estes Park area. And by the time we crossed into Colorado, I had a really bad migraine. And James had to drive from Colorado. They're up near Estes, which is like almost north central Colorado. So he had to drive across the whole state by himself because I couldn't drive. I couldn't see straight. And that night, the pain was so bad. We were camping outside my cousin's cabin. And I was just miserable. I was just crying. And like, if this doesn't get better by tomorrow, we have to leave. I felt like if somebody just drilled a hole into my sinuses, it would have really been fine. But like it felt like my head was going to explode. It hurt so bad. Lori says caffeines open up the blood in your head and helps with migraines. Yeah, I don't care if it's sorcery. It helps a lot. Marianne, that's why everybody gets sick because of the crazy weather. Yeah, it's awful. 12 Stone says the weather will change tomorrow. Really? I thought it was supposed to stay in the 80s. I'm going to have to check that. Melinda says Friday here. Huh. James says that's some good science, 12 stones with the barometric pressure. It is good science. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I can pencil in another migraine for tomorrow or Friday or whenever. Marianne, I wake up with real bad headaches. I try to deal with it as much as I can and it don't start hurting, so I take Tylenol. You might try the coffee if you can stomach it, because I wake up with really bad migraines, but I also sleep all tucked up like this. And I'm sure you probably tried this because I know how it is when you have migraines. Everybody will say, oh, try this, oh, try that. And it's stuff you've either tried or won't work. But something that I've found helps when I have a migraine, like up the back of my neck and around, is we have this really long heat pad. It's probably 2.5 feet long. And I roll it up and I tuck it all the way around, like right here on my head and around my forehead. And I'll usually sleep an hour or two extra with that on my face. And it really helps. Only rain here tomorrow, Melinda. Man, we're supposed to drive up to North Texas tomorrow. I hope it's not pouring on us the whole time. Hey, Bernard, Chrome 13, how are you? And I really hope it doesn't snow on the way out to Paladero, because I think it was supposed to get cold, but I don't know. I know there's a burn ban out there, so I guess it hasn't been too wet. Up north is getting bad weather, says Lori. I don't think it will come that far down. Maybe some rain and wind. Ugh. I'm glad you're doing well, Chrome. How much further south are you, Byron? I think Byron, if I remember right, he's in Greenville. Or if you're from there, Greenville. Not Greenville, Greenville. My dad's from Gainesville, and everybody says Gainesville except if you're from there, and it's Gainesville. Any ville is wool. So I say Gainesville a lot, and it throws people off. And a lot of people don't know where Gainesville is, and it's north of Denton, just north of Denton. I almost said Decatur. My migraine's messing with me. Peaceful Des, Rachel, I hope your migraine goes away and you get full relief for a long time. That's very sweet. Thank you. We hope you feel better too. Have a great night, and I'm so glad you love the stickers. Thank you so much for ordering some. Chrome says Oklahoma is getting some storms tomorrow. Awesome. James says Greenville. Yep. Now I go to the store to Wawa's and get a cup of hot black coffee, and I drink that, and it helps. Marianne, I'm glad it helps. Greenville. Yeah. Full, like a little varmint. Drove through Gainesville a lot. Yeah, I like Gainesville. It's really pretty. I love in the springtime when the bluestem grasses come through, because it's got some rolling hills and all the oaks and stuff, and then the lots of pecan trees, and it's that deep sand, so that bluestem grows. And that's really why I love Palestine, because it's got the rolling hills. They're a little bit bigger than the ones in Gainesville. And then the pine trees and the bluestem. So it's like Gainesville, but with pine trees, and I love it. But there's not as many horse farms out here. Gainesville has a ton of horse farms. Melinda, yes, I remember you're in Wichita Falls. I haven't been to Wichita Falls in a long time. A really, really long time. I'm trying to remember when I was last there. I don't really go that far west in North Texas, because like my family's in Gainesville, and then Sherman and Howell, and I'm trying to think where else. They're everywhere. I have a lot of them, but mostly those areas. My dad's parents are all from Gainesville, like both of them. And so my grandfather was one of 18, and then my grandmother was one of 7, I think. And so there's a bajillion of my dad's cousins in that area. So it's kind of cool because I'm related to like half of Cook County, which is fun. Heather, thanks for all the prayers to everybody. Byron says Canyon near Paladero forecast is clear of precipitation for the next 2 days, but there's high wind warning. Awesome. Thanks for looking that up and let me know. Hopefully we don't get blown off the canyon. Oh my gosh. Wichita Falls looks like rich people town. Yeah. I haven't been there in a long time, but that's kind of how Gainesville is too, if you go through the horse farms. And there was a lot of, because of Gainesville's on 82 and 35, Interstate 35, there's a lot of trafficking of all kinds. And I know there was a horse farm, and they had really, really, really expensive horses, because they'd sell to Dallas and Denton and all that. And they had $1 million horse. And it was a nice horse, but I don't think it was worth $1 million. And so somebody bought it, and the poor driver, the driver was transporting it, and it was a long way that they were driving. So he stops and eats dinner, and then comes back out to the truck and checks on the horse, and the horse is dead. And of course, $1 million horse, they had to do investigation on it. And somebody had put a little baggie of some kind of drugs in it, and it ruptured in its colon, and it killed the horse. It overdosed the horse. So Gainesville was really bad for drug trafficking using horses, which is insane. But now I think it's not as druggy, hopefully. Let's see. Melinda says, hi, yeah, that's why I live in the projects. Like I said, I haven't been to Wichita Falls in a long time, but I know some places are kind of sketchy. James said he had the wind pick up at 4 a.m. in Paladero one time. Scary stuff. Well, I'm glad we're staying in a stone cabin, because it sounds like camping out there will be terrible. Yeah, Chrome, I think it was in the 80s when that was really big, but I can't imagine, that's an expensive cargo to be hauling around, and then to walk out and it's dead. And then I don't think the driver even knew. I think it was just someone hired to take the horse somewhere, and he just found out that the horse was dead from drugs. But the buyer and the seller knew, like, that's part of why the horse was so expensive, because they were trafficking drugs with them. Yeah, 12 stones. Yep. Now we know what was worth the 1 mil. There are some really pretty, like, high-end horses there that are probably actually worth that kind of money. That one I don't think was, but I think it was in the 80s before I was born, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But Gainesville's kind of can be sketchy depending on where you are, but any city on the main highways is kind of sketchy. Plus, it's right on the Oklahoma border, so I know that they used to have some issues with law enforcement because some would sell out to the drug dealers, and then I know there was like a huge shootout between drug dealers, corrupt cops, and normal cops, like good cops in Gainesville, I think in the 90s. So there used to be some bad drug trafficking through there. I never felt unsafe there. We would go all the time, but it's kind of sketchy. Heather, it was really, really sad. 12 Stone, excuse me. 12 Stone said, I need to make a trip up to Paladero at some point. I've been there once when I was a kid on family vacation. I'd like to camp there. Yeah, I'm really excited to go. I've seen some pictures and it looks really pretty. And they have a rock formation called the Lighthouse, which I'm excited to see. Hopefully it's not too terrible to go hike over to it. And then we're going to stop at Cadillac Ranch, which I've driven by Cadillac Ranch before, and I'm pretty sure I stopped there before. But we used to drive past it a lot when we go skiing, snow skiing in Colorado. And I can't remember if I stopped there and actually got out, or if I've seen friends' photos stop there and get out. Because we used to go with my youth group, and I've seen some of the people from the youth group take photos there. So I don't know if I'm living their life thinking I've gone, but I've definitely seen it. So my dad hasn't been since he was young, and so he wants to stop there, which should be a lot of fun. And if you're not a Texan and you've never heard of Cadillac Ranch, there was a guy, I don't remember when he did it, but he took 10 Cadillacs and he did them nose down. He buried them half buried them out in the desert, nose down, and people go, I think they've all been black, all white, all green, all pink, but people go and take spray paint and you can like paint whatever you want on them. And it's just like a tourist thing, but it's just on the side of the road. You don't have to pay. You just like, well, you might now. I don't think so, but you just drive up and take spray paint and do your thing, take some photos and leave. 12 Stone says Cadillac Ranch, great opportunity to do a photo shoot. That's smart. I hadn't even thought about that. I will be taking some to do that. That'd be awesome. Lori says she remembers when the Cadillacs were their original color. What color were they? Were they all different colors? Because we were talking with our neighbors about that, and he hadn't gone in like 40 years, and he saw them when they were all pink, but we couldn't figure out what color they used to be. Chrome 13, it's really cool. I want to say it's a little south, but mostly west of Paladero, and is it 20 that goes through the Panhandle? No. Maybe it's 20. I don't know what the main interstate is that goes through there. I think it might be 20. I don't know. It goes right through there, and it's off that. Melinda, when we hear gunshots here, they're not shooting hogs or deer usually at each other. Oh my gosh, that's scary. You need to move. That's really scary. Lori, blue, gold, green, and bronze. Okay. I couldn't remember. I saw some photos like that, but I couldn't tell. 12 Stone said it's I-40. Cool. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. 12 Stones wants me to move to Texas. Well, you could get land. There's lots of land in East Texas. Then you could get a rabbit or a couple rabbits. Oh, Blackwood says they're always popping off in Cleveland. Yeah, that's scary. I'll tell a story in just a second. I wanted to catch up on the comments. Lori, right off I-40. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to say where they originally put the Cadillacs was like 1.5 to 3 miles from where they are now. They moved them. I don't remember why they moved them, but they moved them from their original location. But I think they have been at this spot for probably 40 years. Trustin says, yes, come to the United States of Texas. Yes, the best state there is. But what I was going to say about the gunshot thing, So I never went to a college party. That was never my thing. But before James and I first started dating, some friends of some friends of his invited us to a party, and we thought about going, but neither of us were like into that. I never went to a college party. I've never even been to like a house party besides like a baby shower or dinner or anything like that. Nothing crazy. And we going, and then we're like, yeah, we don't really. That doesn't sound very fun. It's junk people, and in college town, a lot of people do drugs, and we just didn't want to be involved with that. Turns out that party, they were playing music, and a neighbor, an older guy, said, y'all need to turn it down or whatever. They said no. He came back and shot and killed an 18-year-old girl, and I think he wounded 2 or 3 other people. And that was the party that we were going to go to. So, yeah, people are crazy. Melinda says, land in Texas. Don't come to the city, Backwoods. Melinda, it depends. Like, some cities aren't too bad. James says, Backwoods, we have clean air. We do have clean air. And when they're shooting out here, they're shooting at hogs or deers or targets, not people, which is nice. Nerd. Yeah, I was a nerd. One semester, I was sitting in class 23 hours a week. And then for every hour you're in class, you're supposed to study for 2 hours at home. And then I ran a business. I worked for the university, and I tutored university classes. So most times I would go to class like 3 to 4 hours a day. I'd come home. I'd study between 6 and 8 hours a day. I would usually work for an hour or two for the university every day. Every other day, I would have a tutoring session, which is an hour with some of my clients. And then whenever I had free time, I was working on my business. So I think most nights I slept about 4 to 6 hours, and it was exhausting. I never got to do anything fun. I really wanted to play intramural volleyball, and every single practice or game was during the night when I had a lab, because science majors, you're in labs all the time. So, and they're at night, so I never got to go do anything fun. It was horrible. The only good part about college is I met my husband and I met my best friend there, and that was it. And I had to start my business out of necessity to survive. So I guess that was a good thing too. Yeah, college was not very good times. I know the sarcasm, but I hated it. Melinda says, okay, the other side of town's not bad, but yeah, there's certain places like I would never ever want to live. I'm trying to think of the one. I would never want to live in Denison, Texas. Ever. That place is really sketchy. It's not too bad like downtown, but downtown's really pretty. But like a lot of the neighborhoods in Denison are kind of sketchy. I grew up in a town of like 1,600 people, so it wasn't bad. Like, it's just tiny, and I was related to half of them. Like my grandfather was the mayor in the 80s, so like either I was related to them or they were good friends of my family. So I pretty much knew everybody growing up. 12 Stones, sometimes it's those challenging times that make you grow. That's true, out of necessity and survival. Chrome says hard work pays off. I'm still waiting for it to pay off, but yeah, you're right. Yep, that's the word, but Melinda says, yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful where you live, no matter what state you're in. I'll tell you another thing. I would never, ever, ever live in California. Ever. But we are going to go to California for a friend's wedding later in the year, which should be really fun. I've never been, and I have a lot of cousins there. And then I also have a lot of cousins in Arizona, so we're going to stop off in Arizona and hang out with them. And I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to seeing some things in California. I'm not looking forward to being in California, if that makes sense. Lori, sorry you stayed so busy during college, but glad you started making soaps. Thank you. Me too. Looks like there's a great inventory of products in this room. Yeah, most of my finished products are over here. Here is like mixing containers, and then all my fragrance oils and essential oils. And then in front of me on this wall, I have curing soaps. And yeah, most of like the stuff ready to go out is here. My office is a mess right now. Palestine has a dogwood festival, and I want to say this is the 85th year that they're doing it. And so they they have the town's known for the dogwood trees, and they bloom in March, and they're beautiful. And they have a park called Davy Dogwood Park, and everybody goes and drives through it to look at the dogwoods. It's like their big tourist thing here, besides the trains. And so, and I want to say they have a train ride through the dogwoods too. It's a big thing. And they have this festival, and so they have like a street festival too. I think they might have a parade. They have what else do they have? They have like vendors and food and activities. And so they're going to have giveaway swag bag kind of things. And so they said, hey, if you want, they sent out an email through the Chamber of Commerce, and they said, hey, if you have a small business or whatever, and you want to put in ink, business cards, whatever, flyers, discount codes, gift cards, you're welcome to do that. And I said, well, I just moved here. I'm not part of the chamber, but I'd love to put some stuff in the swag bags if that's cool with y'all. So I don't think I have one by me, but I had these this one, it says my website and then my Etsy page, which I'll tell you about in a second. And so I put these little flyers, each one's this little square, with a business card and a little soap sample, and I dropped them off at the chamber. So I made 500 samples to hand out in their swag bags. So the first 100 people through each different gate of, I don't know if it's at the park or if it's at the actual festival, they're giving out 500 goodie bags to the first 500 people. So everybody's going to get some soap that gets a swag bag. So I'm really excited about it. They're just the little soap samples I send out with my orders. But I have been, like, that day I was making all 500 of them for about 10 hours. So my office is a disaster because I was just cranking out those. And then I had a wholesale order that I dropped off yesterday. And so I was getting that put together. So my office is like lunatic crazy right now. But I've gotten a lot done. It just looks like a mess. Chrome 13 says, I'm in LA right now and it's pretty sad. Homeless everywhere. Yeah, that scares me. There's so many, it's just dangerous, like with needles and debris and stuff. It's scary. I think we're going to be near San Diego is where the wedding is. So that should be really fun. Melinda Dobson's, yes, so happy you make soaps and stuff. Thank you. I rode on that train 2 years ago from Palestine to Rusk. 12 Stones, I want to go do that so bad. I haven't done it yet. I know they get really booked out for the Dogwood Festival, so you probably can't even buy tickets. But, oh, it has historical train cars. That's so cool. Sorry, the rabbits were hopping around, and I thought they were getting out of the container. It scared me, but they're just sleeping in a little cluster of rabbits. Melinda, so cool. Lots of hard work, but gonna be so worth it. Yeah, I'll show you so these are smaller bags, but this little soap sample, and then it had the little flyer, and it was like, hey, this is about my business. Please enjoy this free soap sample, blah, blah, blah. And then, like I said, the bags were bigger, so it also had a business card tucked in. So hopefully it gets some business. It's really hard to get my name out there. So if you feel like sharing my business either on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, I really, really appreciate it because that's how I get my business out there, is through word of mouth. So if you love my stuff, please share it. That would do me a lot of good and help me so much more than you could know. But that's a way that I'm going to try to do it, because once, soap, it's people think, oh, it's soap, and then they try it and then they like it. So the samples should help with just getting people to try it and then hopefully having them come back for more. So that's my goal. But I was up until 4 on Saturday, I think, making them. So I'm trying to catch up on sleep. Rabbits are just a bunch of lobsters. They are. I'll show y'all to them again before I go. They're really cute. And this one's Hopper. He's so little. I wish you could see how her fur, I'm guessing it's a female since she's so little. It's really shaggy, but something unique to silver foxes. They're the only rabbit breed. If you brush their fur, it stands the opposite direction. It stands up until you brush it back down. So they just kind of stay fuzzy, and they're really, really sweet. 12 Stones, have you considered getting the business on Public SQ? I've never heard of that. Let me write that down so I can look that up, because I've never actually heard of that. but I would like to do whatever. I need to do, sorry, I'm a big note taker. I need to put my stuff on YouTube a little bit more. I have an email list that I've been working on, and so I actually have a post where you can sign up for the email list. So I've been trying to get a little bit more off social media, where social media is finicky, where you can get your account hacked, or they can take your platform from you. So I've been trying to make sure that I have my bases covered where I can still reach everybody if if Instagram gets hacked or whatever. I had a friend that has a small business and her Instagram got hacked, and she provided them with her tax information, everything, said, "Hey, this is my business. This is me." They said that's not enough authentication and wouldn't give her account back. So she actually lost it for her business, which is a big deal if you make your money, sharing products online like I do. So it's a very scary realization that you don't have control over it. So, Marianne, I just shared it, Rachel. Thank you so much. Melinda, notes are good, especially the older you get. Yes, I'm a big note taker because I have so many things going. If I don't write it down, I won't remember it. So it gets a little crazy. This one's asleep in my hand. They're so soft. But yeah, anybody wants to share it, please go like my Instagram, my Facebook. I have a TikTok too, YouTube, and then my email list, which I actually need. I think you can sign up through the Facebook page, and I have a post on YouTube and Instagram about it. And I want to say I have a way to sign up on my website, but I need to make sure I have that. It's asleep. But there's something else I was gonna say. My migraine's starting to come back a little bit. Melinda, I know. I just wanna like keep her in my pocket and just hold her all the time. It's so calming just to hold her, and it's the softest thing you've ever felt, like velvet. So soft, like it's some emotional support animal. Oh my gosh. But yeah. Oh, I was gonna show y'all. I don't have them made yet. I'll show y'all what I've been working on though. So I'm redoing my booth in Denison with all kinds of spring stuff. So I painted this sign, and I have some other stuff. I got this sign. I'm decorating it for Easter and for spring. So I've been doing that too. So there's like painting stuff everywhere. But just trying to get everything ready, because since we're going to my parents', it's really easy to take all the stuff up before we go on our trip. So I'm just trying to get it done and not lose my mind with the migraine. So I know there's something else I was going to tell you, though. But anyway, the rabbits are the guests, if you hadn't figured that out. I didn't really say that, but there's technically 6 guests that y'all got to see. But yeah, I actually might call it a little bit early. I know it's 2 minutes, so it's not really super early, but my migraine's starting to come back really bad. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, and so I'm losing my mind. Laura, yes! Thank you so much. I knew there was something else. Thank you. Okay, so I have an Etsy shop now. In addition to my website, I don't have any soap on there. I might add a little bit, but it's called Junebug Mercantile, after my dog June. Junebug Mercantile. It's on Etsy. I have my artwork on there. I'm going to have fire starters on there. I'm going to have some different things, like my dad and I made these ferro. If you saw my last live, I showed them to y'all. They're ferro rod lanyards, so you can wear them, and then it's got paracord, and then you can start the fire. So these are going to be stuff like that. So if y'all, even if you don't go buy from my Etsy, if you'll go there and favorite my store and my products, that would really do me a lot of good. And you can share that too. It's going to have artwork and things that aren't on my website. So Laura, thank you so much for jogging my memory on that one, because I'm starting to lose it. Lori, hopefully migraine doesn't get too bad. I hope not. I have a lot to do. Laura, thank you. I'm excited. Yes, 12 Stones. It's Junebug Mercantile, just like that. I should have posted a link, but again, brain fried. I can function really good with a migraine most of the time, but after a really bad one, like I've had this morning and that's coming back, it just makes me really forgetful, and I'll either stutter a lot or I can't think of words, and that's really frustrating because I don't have that problem, but when my brain, I mean, it feels like, I don't know, it's such a weird pain that it makes you forget and your brain doesn't work. Like, if you stump your toe, you can still think straight, but a migraine pain, you can't think straight. So it really messes with you. Thank you so much, Heather. And thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope y'all had a good time. I had a really great time showing y'all the bunnies. I really love them. I've been enjoying the last 2 weeks of going out and playing with them and holding them. They just got fur maybe 4 or 5 days ago. Their eyes are open, so I can actually get them out and play with them a lot, it brings me a lot of joy. So I'm excited to be able to share that with y'all. But please make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm not sure when I'm going to go live next. I'm trying to do every other week. So I will probably see y'all in 2 weeks. Y'all have a great night and stay nice and safe. Bye, y'all.